My name is Iliana Nava, and I'm a Senior Technical Service Specialist at Cargill. On this Tech at Home video, I'd like to share with you some basic considerations for the use of pectins and do a quick demo on how to make a pectin pre-solution. Let's first remember that pectins are hydrocolloids extracted from citrus peel or apple pomace and are utilized to provide texture or create gels in different food applications. Based on their structure and molecular composition, these hydrocolloids are classified in high methoxy and low methoxy pectins. High methoxy pectins can form gels and provide texture or protein stabilization in products like gummy candy, jams, jellies, and acid dairy drinks. Depending on their degree of esterification and gel formation, these pectins are classified in rapid set, medium rapid set, and slow set. Then we also have low methoxy pectins, which offer gelling, texture, and stability in products like low sugar jams, fruit preps, bakery fillings, glazes, and yogurt. These pectins are classified based on their calcium reactivity in low, medium, and high. Let's take a deeper look into each of these pectins. High methoxy pectins are characterized for having a degree of esterification above 50% and up to 75%. These pectins mainly depend on a high solids content of 60% or more and on a low pH around 3 to form a gel. These are critical things to watch for the proper gelation in gummies and jams, as without them, you will have a soft product. The one exception that exists with the high solids is beverage. In these applications, you may be looking for viscosity and not a firm gel. Given this, the high solids are not required to meet your functionality needs. As I mentioned earlier, depending on their degree of esterification and their setting temperature, these pectins can be classified in slow set, medium rapid set, and rapid set. The degree of esterification has a direct impact on the time that these pectins will take to form a gel, assuming that a good dispersion and dissolution have been done and that we have the right gelling conditions, high solids and low pH. The higher the degree of esterification, the higher the setting temperature. This is important to keep in mind to avoid potential obstructions of equipment used to deposit gummies or use the right filling temperature in jams and jellies. For example, on this image we can see the effect of different filling temperatures on the fruit distribution in a jam. If the temperature is too high, the fruit pieces will tend to float since we have not allowed the product to form a gel. And if the temperature is too low, we could have a gel form too early or pre-gelling, which will cause the texture to be granular and the fruit distribution won't be homogeneous. Using a pectin with the right degree of esterification will help us obtain a jam with a homogeneous fruit distribution across the jar and with the right gelling and texture. On the other hand, low methoxy pectins are characterized for having a degree of esterification below 50%. These pectins mainly depend on the presence of calcium and on pH to form a gel, and to a lesser extent on the content of solids or sugars. For this reason, these pectins are commonly used and recommended for products such as low sugar or low calorie jams and jellies. When working with low methoxy pectins, it is important to consider their calcium reactivity since this influences their ability to gel. The concentration and source of calcium will have a direct effect on gel formation due to the different solubilities of each calcium salt. Within this group of pectins, we have low methoxy conventional and low methoxy amidated pectins. Low methoxy conventional pectins are highly dependent on calcium to form a gel, and these gels will be resistant to high temperatures and bake stable. Low methoxy amidated pectins have amide groups added into their structure, which are functional groups that will allow these pectins to be more tolerant to calcium variabilities. This characteristic makes them easier to use and more flexible in certain processes since they are thermoreversible. Okay, so let's go through a couple of really quick and easy demos on how to do pectin pre-solutions. On one side, I'm going to show you what happens when you don't separate pectin particles before going into solution, and then we're going to take that pre-solution one step further and apply heat and mixing and see what happens. So let's do the pectin in water demo first. And so for that, I'm going to take some random amount of water just for the demo. And I'm going to use a little bit of pectin, also a random amount, just 1 spoonful of pectin. I'm going to pour it into water. And then I'm going to go ahead and start stirring. And since pectin is a hydrocolloid, it's going to want to go and hold on to that water once it's in contact with it. So what's going to happen is that it's going to form clumps. And as you can see here, it's not going properly into solution, and it's going to take a lot of time and effort for these clumps to go away. So really what we want to do is we want to be very efficient in the way that we work with these pectin-free solutions. So in order to do that, and in order for pectin to go into solution without forming clumps, we're going to use, in this case, sugar, because that's the ingredient that I have in my kitchen. But we can also use any other granular ingredients, thinking about our recipe or our formulation. If you guys have other powder ingredients like dextrose, you can do that, you can use that one. Or some syrups like corn syrup, glucose syrup can be used as well. Or you can also even use fats or oils in order to, as I said, separate the pectin particles. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the same amount of pectin, or more or less the same amount. And I just have a random amount of sugar here, and I'm gonna mix. So now that I have it mixed, I'm gonna go ahead and add it into water. And I'm gonna start stirring. Okay. And so as you can see here, pectin is not forming clumps, or definitely not as many clumps as with our previous example. We're helping to separate the pectin particles, and we're making it go right in without any issues. And if we have any smaller clumps in this case, it's going to be a lot more manageable. And so once we apply our heat and we continue mixing, those clumps are going to go away. So let's now do a pectin-free solution and cook the pectin solution to see what happens. So in this case, we're going to do a pre-solution utilizing pectin and also sugar. In this case, I did weigh my ingredients. So I'm using a ratio of 1 part of pectin and 5 parts of sugar, which is usually what's recommended. And I'm gonna do a 4% pectin solution. So I have water pre-measured here as well, and I have 500 milliliters of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my pectin into my sugar. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix. Now this is done. I'm gonna go ahead and add my water into my equipment. And this water is at room temperature, so no need to heat it up to add the pectin. It's actually preferred for it to be at room temperature. So let's start mixing. And we're gonna add our pectin to water slowly. Okay, so now I added all of my premix to the water, and this equipment is gonna heat up to 90 degrees Celsius, which is about 190, 194 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. So let's wait for this pectin pre-solution to cook, and then I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, so our pectin solution is ready. So I'm gonna take it out and pour it in a glass. so that we can compare it to the other two. So here we have the color has changed slightly. The pectin has now been solubilized into water. In this case, the one with pectin and sugar example, we only added, we have only pre-dispersed. The pectin is not solubilized, so it's only going to provide thickening and viscosity, while this one, which has been solubilized, is going to form a gel. And here we also have the one that we did without any sugar, just pectin into water, and it still has clumps in it. It's starting to go into the water slowly, but as I said, it's going to take a lot more time and a lot more effort for it to go completely into solution. So once we have our pectin pre-solution made, we can go ahead and add it to the rest of our batch, since now pectin has been pre-dispersed, solubilized, activated, and it's ready to form a gel. So let's review what we did here. And the only exception or the only application where we don't necessarily need to do this pectin pre-solution are beverages. Since, as I said, we want to form a gel, and in beverages, we mainly want to have that viscosity and mouthfeel. So the recommendation is to disperse the pectin with a dispersion aid, like sugar or dextrose. We can also use fats or oils or syrups, as depending on what we have available in our formula. Then we added the dispersed pectin into ambient temperature water under agitation to the pre-solution tank. We heated the pre-solution to 90 Celsius and held it for 15 to 20 minutes under constant agitation to activate and solubilize the pectin. And then we added this, or what we can do is we add this hot pre-solution to the rest of our batch. It is also recommended not to hold this pectin pre-solution hot for more than 2 hours, as pectin is going to start degrading and we will lose its gel functionality. So this is the pectin dispersion demo. In summary, pectins are highly versatile ingredients that can be used in a wide variety of applications, and they are also suitable for label-friendly products. According to the characteristics of each application, it is possible to select a type of pectin based on total solids, pH, and processing conditions to provide the right texture and functionality. At Cargill, we fully understand the complexity of each pectin type and the systems they work best in. We are here to help you with selecting the best pectin for your product and making sure you feel comfortable with using it. Don't hesitate to contact me or your Cargill technical service representative if you would like to receive more information. We are here to help. Thanks for your attention.